always wanted to do an MBA. I was just waiting for the right time. When we talk about business, I think, and the quality of education, America stands out. If you want to have quality education, you have to go to America.
I worked in accounting for a few years, financial services. Then I made a transition. I got a culinary certificate and went back to culinary school. Actually, I've worked in restaurants for the last few years. So that's really the basis for my entrepreneurial spirit came from. I want to have my own business.
I'm a first-year MBA student. It's actually my second year in grad school. I'm an MPH MBA. The dual program is actually, it's really nice. You get your 2 master's degrees in 3 years instead of 4. I really want to go into policy making in kind of the mental health field, and obviously the public health will give me more of the healthcare background, but in order to get in really kind of the other side of it, I wanted to learn the business background, and then hopefully eventually working for the CDC or the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hopefully get in, in with a startup company, a company that's trying to grow itself. Obviously, there's a relationship for me with the food service industry, and Buffalo has great restaurants, so I think there's a lot of opportunities around the city for that.
I would like to work in America for a couple of years, at least for the next 5 to 10 years, and then eventually move back to India, where I could start my own business.
You're not going to be crunching numbers all day, which might be a perception for some. It really is, and you find different ways to make use of your talent. So maybe you find that marketing's, you're good at influencing people and you want to look at sales and marketing. Maybe you're very analytical and you want to stay in the financial area.
At the end of the day, I think be it an international, or be it an Indian or Chinese or anybody or an American, I think all of them are hardworking. They're very sincere to what they wanted to do, and I find everybody very, very ambitious.
You really can't go wrong with an MBA. It just adds so much value to anything you could do, and especially with the way that I want to go.
Again, those are just 3 of the 200 total students currently enrolled in the UB School of Management's full-time MBA program. 62% of the student body is male and 38% is female. 67% are from the U.S., 45% are from Western New York, and 31% are actually international students. Now, enrollment in this program is up 17% from last year, and right now we are inviting in Assistant Dean for Programming, Erin O'Brien, to the couch. 17% enrollment up last year. Why do you think so many people want to earn MBAs right now?
I think it's very important. The MBA is actually a life-changing degree for a lot of people. Typically, our students are out in the workforce, have been there for maybe 3, 5, 6 years, and they're deciding that they've plateaued based on the experience that they've gotten with their bachelor's degree, and they want to be able to do something different. They want to use it as a launching pad for their career. So they come back and they do an MBA, and it puts them in a higher position when they come out of their degree, and it gets them the skills and competencies they need in order to be a successful manager in whatever business they have. So whether it's the business of healthcare or the business of banking or the business of nonprofit, or as Brian mentioned, the business of food service, they become experts in the management of whatever that business is.
Absolutely, and I think there's a lot of people may think a certain way about what being a business student is like. These students were all wearing suits when we saw them. Is that typical?
When they're in class, they're typically dressed down. However, business students do tend to wear suits a lot. We put them through their paces, so their program is highly experiential. It's not just traditional college lecture where they're they're sitting in a class and a professor is standing in front of them. They're typically standing up giving the presentations. They do the research. They become the experts. They have to apply the tools that they're learning. So really, when you walk into our building, you'll find a lot of us in suits.
And Stephanie in that piece is actually earning a dual degree. Is that a big trend in the MBA program right now?
It absolutely is. So when you mention the numbers and the increased applications, a significant number of that increase came from the fact that we have dual degree students. And those dual degree students are already participating in another graduate or professional school at UB. So we have MD MBAs, JD MBAs, PharmD MBAs. Stephanie is an MPH, Master's in Public Health MBA. And so what they're doing doing is they're tacking on the business education to their subject matter expertise so they can run the business of their business.
And her program, she actually did all of her MPH classes last year, and then this year will be all MBA program for her. Is that typical of how it works out?
Correct. So typically they spend a year in residence with us, and then they merge the remaining 2 programs together in the follow-on years. Where Stephanie's doing a 3-year program, our MDs are doing 5 years, our PharmDs are doing 6 or even 7 years. So it's they're the brightest of the brightest. When we talk about the dual degree students, they're the top in their field, in their particular school, and then they come over and they're high performers in business as well.
And we have to talk about the high performers that are coming from all over the world to study at UB. I mean, we met one of your international students there, but 31% are international students. Why do you think it's so attractive to students from out of the country?
Well, I think a U.S. degree has always been attractive to international students, but with our international students, we host students from 13 different countries in our full-time MBA program. So it's not just our Indian students or our Chinese students. I have students from France, I have students from Mexico, I have students from the Middle East, from Eastern Europe, from Northern Europe. So it's really exciting for them to step out of their own culture and come to the United States and then go back to their culture or sometimes stay in the United States and utilize their skills and abilities here.
Which is exactly what his plans were, to stay here for a couple years and then go home to India to start his own company. It was very interesting talking to him. It was his first time in America.
And that's true of many of our international students. Our students have to arrive on campus August 15th to start the fall semester. A lot of them get there August 10th or August 11th.
Right, yeah.
And so they're coming directly from their home countries. They're changing their lives entirely. Is why I said it's really a life-changing degree. They're changing their lives entirely. They're picking up, they're coming to the United States. Many of them have left family behind, spouses, children, to come here for to better themselves, to be able to better their own countries. A lot of them have philanthropic services that they're working on within their home countries. They take all those skills back and they utilize them both professionally and in the community as well.
All right, thanks so much, Erin O'Brien. mgt.buffalo.edu if you're interested in the master's degree programs at the UB School of Management. We really appreciate your time for Winging It Goes to College Week.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right, let's